Welcome viewers to the Mokete Moetela show. Le nna lesiba la Mokopane bathong Mokete wa Majakane o fihlile. Thank you for choosing to spend the evening with me. You might be surprised or why now you get Mokete wa Majakane lesiba la Mokopane. So this season it's all about me really revealing to you who I am and what made me who I am. And in one of the few days ago, I actually was just thinking about how my grandmother used to call me, I'm named after my grandfather, my maternal grandfather. His name is Mokete. That's why I can never be Mokete. I need anyone to understand. I can't be Mokete just because I'm a woman. I'm named after my grandfather and I'm proud that I'm Mokete, and I took the name as it is, as was given. So my grandmother, my paternal one, she loved the name so much. Nambicha Mokete wa Majakane lesiba la Mokopane, because my grandfather is from Mokopane State in Mokopane. So then I was like, oh, this is nice. Actually, I just thought about that and I even smiled. Got that memory because I was doing an exercise of childhood memories and I was like, this is nice, So that's another thing that about me. I came Mokete. When I introduce myself and say Mokete, it's not that I forgot about the ma or I don't like it. I am just not Mokete. So anyway, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be sharing my boarding school experience with you. Yes, I went to a boarding school in 2001. That was my first year go boarding school, and I loved going to boarding school. I don't remember resenting going to school, and I think it was an escape for me. My environment, sweeping the yard, outside yard. We have a very big yard. We had the tupu and they were red sunbeam. I was the girl, And so my mother woke us up very early. Before the sun comes out, you should be done with cleaning the yard, lady tupu and stuff like that. The lessons there are great. That experience, I treasure it so much. The part that I did not like was seeing adults who are still doing that. Because the home chores for me were about saving my parents and learning lessons, and being taught about life, because they will shout at you saying that. But as an adult, and I'm still doing these things, like, what happened? And it was women who must stay at home and help their mothers and their father, their mothers at home to build the home or run the home as a girl child in the rural areas that time. That did not sit well with me. I really, from a young age, knew that I was not born to be here and help my mother sweep the yard. No. I believed God gave me something inside that I can offer the world, or that the world can learn from Mona. I knew that there's something bigger than this. I knew beyond tar road, the Matlala tar road, we would say Skontrisa Matlala, there is more for me, So when the opportunity to go to a boarding school came, I was very excited because I wanted to see what is beyond what I know. And when I've reached boarding school, I always wanted to know what is beyond this, what is out there in the world, what is beyond Limpopo, what is beyond Gauteng, what is beyond, because I'm in Gauteng right now, but trust me, I know there's a whole lot waiting for me out there. It doesn't end here in Gauteng. What is beyond South Africa, globally, and I've even instilled this in my kids that if there's a transport to go to another planet, then we ask the question, what is beyond the planet Earth? How about we visit another planet? That's the mentality that I have now from a very young age, and I've allowed my kids also to just be wild in their thinking and dreams. So opportunity boarding school came. Do I have to tell you how it came? But it was not an obvious thing. At home that time, we did not have a lot of money for it to seem like it's an obvious option. No, it was not. But one thing I know is that my parents prioritized education. I remember one night, guys, back in the days, Narija, we had pap and peanuts, fried peanuts. You know, the fried peanuts, the one that you brown them in the pan, in a dry pan for dinner. We had that. But they wanted to make sure that the school fees are paid, you know. And the boarding school one, I don't know if it was ever their dream, but I know that family ya me, the people who mentored me throughout my high school, who adopted me, Bangudisha, they're the ones that saw potential and said, come on, Mr. and Mrs. Moetela, you know, there's a lot in this child. How about this? This is how these things work. These are the benefits. Let's do this. So it was not something that was just so obvious that it will happen. And I was the first one to go to a boarding school, so you can imagine. Went to a boarding school. I get there. When I was in primary, my mother made me do my own laundry to train myself for what's happening out there. Ironing my own clothes. He would even giving me adults' clothes to iron. Primary. I was like doing things to train me for the world out there. And I think that's what my parents do. Ne? They train you for the world. They don't train you to come back and save them. They train you for the world. They don't care. From a young age, all of my siblings, they moved out of my parents' home at the primary level. You leave, you go somewhere to the world. So I was very ready. But as I was doing those chores, and that's why I don't like chores, because I was like, I'm doing this for life lessons, to be a better person. But I ain't coming to this. I'm not going to be an adult and do these things. I'm going to work very hard and get someone to do this for me. I feel like I've done enough chores in my life to last me my lifetime, and this is my life, so I have a right to declare that. But yeah, so I went to boarding school. I was a little bit independent in terms of taking care of myself, so I did not struggle. First year, you have to make new friends. There's this routine you must get used to. There's no more, there is a little bit of playing, but it's not like at home, because at home, you go to school. I mean, I went to a government school, maybe 7 or 8, around 2, you are done, and then you go home. Not go boarding school, like wake up around 4 or 5, you bath, all of you are bathing. You must never miss breakfast, because if you miss breakfast, then you know, we are not allowed to cook for ourselves because for safety issues. So there is this new routine that you must get used to, that you bath, you must be ready for breakfast. And then after breakfast, then you go to school. There's a morning assembly. It was one of my favorite periods. And then you go to classes start. And then after school, you just go have lunch, change clothes. Doesn't mean school has ended. Still have study periods, you know, afternoons and in the evenings. So the good thing about boarding school is that there are not so many distractions. You don't have family issues to deal with, or family issues that you're exposed to. There's no Coco, make tea for Mrs. Bantu, you know. You don't have that. You're focused on your studies. You don't have any excuse. You stay in different hostels, you know. Other people call them dormitories. There's boys that side and girls that side. So again, you're with your peers here, you know. Another advantage of boarding school is that I will be lonely. You are never alone, you know. Yes, you can have your own space on your bed and stuff like that. People won't bother you unless, you know. But the advantage is that you don't grow up as an only child who's lonely, who doesn't have anyone to socialize with. You know, you've got a lot of options. You've got a lot of options at your disposal. You just have to know how to manage life. Number 2, another advantage, or what I learned, is independence. We are able to maneuver through life, you know. We know that, one thing I like boarding school, Kore, you know that your destiny is in your hands, your future is in your hands. You have to work, or else you don't go anywhere. There's no mama here to motivate you every day, hope faith, and then she will, or your father will say, no, my child, tomorrow you'll do better, or I'm going to talk to the teacher. You take responsibility of your own actions, your own marks, you channel your future, you plan, I have to study so that I can pass. You have to motivate yourself. You have to get up yourself and choose to show up each and every day. Even if Barzosha, because the matron will be hitting the door, like go. But what I'm saying is you get used to that independence. And because that is your alarm clock today as an adult. I'm at a boarding school. I'm not at a boarding school, but I have an alarm. Every morning I know I have a responsibility. If I don't get up and do something, nothing will happen. And there's no one who will do something for me. Because in an experience at boarding school, I'm used to that kind of thinking. That mentality was embedded in me, so but now the disadvantage to that is that you are detached to family, and you are detached from family routines, so for me it was not an easy adjustment after that, because after boarding school I went to tertiary. Again, it's a setup here, boarding school. I survived very well, go tertiary. I do not struggle to adjust. I know when it comes to family where there's husband and wife and children, we are always in front of the TV and what. For me, honestly, I had this tendency to write down and we still do. My siblings, we just sit in the bedroom on our beds and talk. This thing of family time and watch TV and chill and talk. There's family, and then another one comes and family's tea. For me personally, it was not a struggle as such, but I could not wait for such moments to finish, because I'm used to that one. So in terms of adapting to a family structure, it was not a problem. There's a myth, people who went to boarding school actually have attachment issues or commitment issues. No, that's not true. Because actually, we are very, very good at commitment because we have lifetime friendships. We don't struggle with that, with loyalty and stuff like that, because these people are all that we had. So we are not too attached to family. We are mama's baby. I'm not my mama's baby or my father's baby, because all my life, survival, making ends means calculating, budgeting, even peanut butter. I can't just eat as I want here, because I have to wait for month end. There's no mama who will say, I fedile, after 2 weeks, and then I fedile. They're like, no, we'll buy another. We'll make a plan. There's no plan. Go boarding school. They'll come month end once. That's all. So we don't have attachment. We have friends. We build relationships that time that last us forever. That's one of the myths that I encountered, that people think, no, it's not like that, So another advantage of going to a boarding school is that the number of learners in a class is very manageable, and everyone will get a chance to get knowledge, or to get a chance for the teacher to know their learning ability and help them accordingly. That's why the boarding, they're very competitive academically, because everyone has a chance. It's a privilege, sort of, unlike those who are at Komahayeng. I can imagine, or how many learners do they have in one class, and how do you manage to give attention even to the slow learners compared to the A students. A students are always sitting in front, getting all the privileges, but then the slow learners are at the back. That's a disadvantage, but get advantage. At the boarding school, especially at Oppenheimer, I remember the A students who were doing maths in a high grade, they were not in class with us who were doing, or with the ones who, like us, were doing the standard grade, because now, if they're explaining a sum there, and the first one says no, I understand, they get it, when you are still struggling, the other one will fifth, you can understand that the teacher now will move on to the next sum, and then you are totally lost, and then you have a high rate of fail, pass, so at the boarding school, at least, we did not have that. Baba smart, the classes, they'll be quicker, and then we know that Rena, it will be like that. And then, so the learning, at least it's managed very well, one thing I like about boarding school is managing diversity. Wow. And even today, I'm grateful because it helps me at work. I'm able to manage people and manage teams and even build teams because I'm used to diversity. I've learned to accept and love people for who they are. Like, I'm sure you've watched the channel long enough to know that I don't like name calling people, or when someone who does, every time a person acts funny, like, don't act like umchangani. I don't like such name callings. I don't like name calling like makwerekwere. I don't like this because I've learned that from my boarding school experience. It was people from all walks of life, and we loved each other the way we are. And anything other than that is bullying, either you like it or not. And even the people at Banexana School would tell you that those who were being called names, they felt like they were being bullied. You get my point? So in life, then I manage diversity well. I don't really struggle with any type of person who comes in my team at work or as a friend. I don't struggle to adjust or to even fit in. Other advantage and a disadvantage for others in privacy. There's no privacy at boarding school. So for me, except for privacy of, right now I'm doing YouTube. There is a challenge to say, how far do I go in terms of exposing my personal life? Do I expose my kids? Okay, most of you maybe know Tando, she's been in the media, but do I expose the other children that come after her, or do I wait for them to decide? Do I expose my relationships? How far do I go in terms of keeping some things private? That's the only thing that I'll have to work on. But in terms of being a private person and being sensitive to privacy, for me, and I like it, I don't have a problem with that because I can manage. The thing is, it taught me to be flexible and to be able to manage my personality and my life and what I want out there and not in terms of socially and stuff like that. But for other people, if you're a very private person, boarding school is not really going to help you that much because we share a lot of things. And you don't have your own room and your own toilet and your own shower and your own kitchen and what. We share a lot of things, and you spend 5 years of your high school life with the same people. If they will know about you and know even the things you didn't want them to know, either you like it or not. So privacy there, it has its good and bad. But for me, then I was never an insecure child because I did not struggle with fitting in. I did not have to choose between fitting in and stuff. The sad thing about Nana Wetegeloko boarding school is that a lot of children came from well-off families. The first threat, go tertiary, go boarding school for a child is, do my parents have a car or not? Then compared to your peers, you're like, already don't belong into the cool kids club. Tando talks about cool kids club. When they come to see you, but laboratory to plastic stage shop, right? Or do they come ka Woolworths or ka Pick and Pay or Checkers? Because when they come, everybody can see the entrance scale one. So I was not coming from a family where there's a car. So I knew I don't belong in the cool kids club. Like I did not belong. Also, I think my mom was not working that time. So you can imagine my father have to feed everybody and schooling and everything. So I did not really have the best of clothes. I remember my mom nanrekete the second-hand Nike tracksuit go studio, I think go Pick and Pay Center, go Limpopo Mall, and I cherished it so much because Nike and then at least people will see me. But the thing is, one, so how many times are you gonna wear it in 12 months? The same people, they're gonna figure you out that you only have one and that you're not so cool. This one time my mom bought me, I think Identity. The clothing shop needs and fashioning. A lot of people were buying clothes. Then my mom this one time afforded to buy me a skirt, guys, a denim skirt, a stretch. Identity. I love that skirt because skirts are label, like I can be seen. But the problem is, see what? I always even tell my partner that now in my high school days, I spent most of the time I'm not taking off my school uniform, even after lunch, because after lunch we eat. we must change uniform and still go back to the classes for study time and stuff like that. So now would not change. I will just take my school shoes and then wear flip-flops, like make it look casualish, and then still continue with my day, because I had issues with clothes. They are fair, like, there's only a few. I'm getting exposed and I have to wash this thing so many times. We wash our own clothes. So you get my mind. So I spend a lot of time school uniform, because at least a weekend, the few clothes that I have, I just put a t-shirt on and still walk around. So I had to make sure my school skirt is something that I'll be comfortable with. And we went to Europe and I am so your school skirt can never be longer than you, below your knees or anything like that. You can never. It has to be a little bit shorter. The upper you go, the better. That's the thing about boarding school. You cannot be wearing long skirts and stuff, and we took pride in looking nice and, flaunting ourselves, So as I conclude this experience at boarding school, the other thing that I liked about boarding school is that we did not have TV. So like we don't have individuals TVs in our rooms and stuff, So others will be lucky, some boarding schools, to have maybe a hall in the residential area and maybe in the academic area where they can watch TV, or even in the dining hall. That is a nice advantage. But now we don't grow up like other kids who every day they watch Skim Sam and then they go to Generation and whatnot, and you can even choose which channel you want. If it's a school TV, you can imagine what happens. Time is limited, and so I do not grow up kilibella TV that much, or even understanding TV, or even being addicted to it. And the other thing is, how you look at boarding school, it's not going to be easy to express yourself. That's a disadvantage. The ones who are growing at home, they are able to express themselves, right? Mama, I'm really struggling here. Mama, I want this. Yes, Mama. And then even lie on your mother's chest or your siblings to help you with some issues. But in school, you're with strangers. If there are things that are bothering you, yes, you can. If they're as deep as that, you can consult Metron and stuff. But you don't have that advantage that those who are sitting at home have. That every day you get to say, but how was your day? Yeah, my day, I saw this person, this is what I did. My teacher gave me a star in the book, like our kids do now. You don't have that privilege. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to ask you after school that how was your day. Dude, we come from the same class, the same dining hall. We are working on the same pavement, the same tank shop. So, the only thing you can ask you, it's just boys and experience and, stuff like that. But you're not as expressive or have that opportunity to learn about. So, but I can talk forever. But due to time, we have to cut. I really have to cut. This is too long. But yeah, that is my experience, and I hope really you love it and you get to know me better and understand me better because of the experiences that shaped me. And if you want your child to go to boarding school, ask them if they want to do it, and do it. For me, my daughter once asked me, would you want to take me to a boarding school? I said, it will be up to you. I don't have a problem with boarding school. I love it. I love boarding schools, but it's up to you if you want or not. I'm not even going to suggest to you, as long as you know the information. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Have a good evening, and please subscribe to the channel. Don't just view, subscribe and share and comment, on the conversation. From Mokete Moetela, have a good evening.